Hi, welcome to session 4.4. This session is about the last step of the evaluation phase when you communicate the results from your trial. With dissemination, we mean you share your results and main conclusions of your trial with others. Dissemination is mostly logically done by trial organizers and solution providers. This session could also be interesting for practitioners. In this session, we will explain the 4 acts within dissemination, tips and tricks for each of those 4 acts, and give you some suitable examples of both internal and external communication methods.
The final step in the evaluation is to disseminate the results of the trial internal, within your community, and beyond. At the end of the trial, you want to create something sustainable. Therefore, spread the word. Let people know what you learned, about your gaps and how to bridge them, but also about trials. Furthermore, write down what lessons you learned with regards to trials, etc., for conducting trials, for crisis management, for your organization, etc. The main objective of the dissemination is to make sure that the gained knowledge is sustained. The trial owner and the practitioner coordinator will have to spend 2 valuable days on this final task.
Episode 35, Dissemination. Now that you are at the very end of the trial experience, but still in the flow of the event, you sit down at your desk and think about the persons and organizations which you would like to inform about the results. You start to make a list of the colleagues that have been involved and decide to organize a kind of lunch presentation to disseminate the results and the success of the trial. On the list of involved persons, also some people from outside the organization appear, the persons from the other regions you called in the beginning, asking for ideas and possible solutions, the person at the center of expertise you contacted, and the people who came to observe during the trial. They probably also would like to know more about the results. Before you realize it, you have already established a 2-pager with the explanation of the trial and a presentation of the results. In the end, you can upload this paper on the CMINE website and send it to a national magazine. You also share it by mail and intranet to those who have been involved. You once more review the solutions, and in a phone call with the solution providers, you inform them about what you think of their products based on the trial. Besides scheduling 2 follow-up meetings with your procurement colleague, they turn out to be very thankful for this practitioner feedback, helping them to go forward in developing and improving their solution. Lessons Learnt Library. A final important part of the symposium is the definition of lessons learnt. You give the floor to all trial participants and ask them to formulate what they experienced and what can be learnt from it. You get a lot of different answers on different dimensions of the trial. The catering should have better instructions because the coffee was cold at the time we were ready for the break. This relates to the trial dimension. The icons used in that one solution were confusing. In our organisation, we use different ones. I think with the right icons, we would have been even faster. This is the solution dimension. The visualization of the flooding really helped with taking faster decisions about the evacuation. This refers to the crisis management dimension. You collect all the answers and input them into the Lessons Learnt Library website, just to be sure that they will not be neglected the next time someone organises a trial. Portfolio of solutions. Collecting the lessons learned reminds you that also the portfolio of solutions should be updated. You have something to add on the solution that you assessed in the trial. Both negative and positive findings can be included there, but you make sure you put them in context.
Complete dissemination consists of 4 activities. It's like a play with 4 acts. After a discussion about the relevance of the results and the reflection on ethical, societal, and legal aspects of the results, you can start your final documentation and dissemination. The first activity is to discuss the results. A lot of people were involved in preparing and conducting the trial. The evaluation, on the other hand, was most likely done only by a few people. So now go ahead and let all the others know what you found out. What was it they contributed to? Did it help that they spend their time working on it? The next activity is to reflect on the ethical, societal, and legal aspects of dissemination. Reflect on all the different aspects of your disseminations acts. Be aware of not distributing personal or sensitive data, so depersonalize and anonymize always. Ask for reviews and improvements before distributing the final versions. Your solution providers are very important in this phase. Let them know what you think of their products. They will be very thankful for any bit of information that helps them to go forward in their development. After the discussion and reflection, you need to document all results in a proper way. At the end of the trial, you want to create something sustainable, but before you spread the word, be sure that you documented all results adequately. Make difference between internal documents, in which you might focus more on the organizational relevance, and the external documentation. Share your knowledge and inspire others, who might also have that same or a similar gap. Share the results about the solutions in the trial directly with the solution providers, to enable them to use the feedback to improve their products. Here you can update the lessons learned framework, the D+ knowledge base, and also the portfolio of solutions. The last dissemination activity is the communication itself. Let people know what you learned, about your gaps and how to bridge them, but also about trials. Furthermore, write down what lessons you learned with regards to your trials, for conducting trials, for crisis management, and for your organization. There are many communication channels to propagate results and increased knowledge. Choose the appropriate one, preferably with your communication experts. For internal dissemination, you might use intranet, informal presentations, or pitches. Think about social media, news items, and research papers for external dissemination. After discussion, reflection, documentation, and communication, you have finished the dissemination of the results. You started the dissemination activities with just the answers. After this step, you end up with tweets, newspaper articles, website content, journal papers, and an updated lessons learned library. Dissemination of the results takes place in meetings and with the help of social media, websites, newspaper articles, and conferences. Some useful tools are the lessons learned library, portfolio of solutions, trial guidance tool, which are all knowledge bases. As a final check of this step, you could ask yourself the following questions. Did you fill in the lessons learnt library? Did you update the knowledge base and the portfolio of solutions? Are you ready with the internal and external documentation? Did you perform a full-scale internal and external dissemination? Did you consider the legal restrictions or limitations with regards to the solutions when you communicate results? Take care that you always interpret and consider the evaluation results in the trial context. Now, as we are at the end of the evaluation phase, there is one more extensive task. Move. Do what is needed to translate the results, not only to externals, but also to your own organization. Look back to the place where you started. What has changed since the preparation and execution of the trial? And how can this persist? How can the benefits of organizing the trial be implemented? How do the stakeholders profit from the results? How can you keep the gains available for future decision-making? It is up to you, so move and tell, show and act now.
Episode 36. Done. And then you are done. Was it all worth it, you ask yourself, to use the TGM for this assessment? What would have happened if nothing had been organised? Or if you had followed the same path as usual? Of course, those what-if questions are hard to answer. You will never know, because this time you have chosen a different route. Did you enjoy it? Would you repeat the method? A mail from the director arrives saying, "You did a good job. At first, I had some difficulties with following you and your methodology, but now I understand it has been a good decision to trial the solutions, to answer the research questions and to bridge the gap." Wow, even the director is talking in TGM language. It is contagious. And while you return to your daily work, you feel that you're impatiently waiting for the next possibility to organise a trial. Such a kick.
Congratulations! If you see this video, you have probably finished the e-learning session regarding all 3 phases of the DGM. A job well done. Maybe you have also already looked at session 5 and 6 about the supportive tools and methods. If not, please review them as well.
And then, when you have finished all this e-learning, you probably want to practice more before really starting your own trial. That's exactly why there is a contact phase. If you haven't done so yet, get in contact with a center of expertise near you and schedule your course attendance. Be sure in that application to indicate in what role you will be involved in your own trial, and state to the contact phase instructors which sessions you are most interested in and what you would like to get out of this contact phase. Remember that the contact phase will be tailored to your needs.
For us, we can only say goodbye to you, and we hope to meet you in person somewhere, sometime. Maybe during the contact phase or maybe during your own trial. That will be fun. Good luck and thanks for all your time spent in this training.